Hey everyone, what's going on? Today we're just going to do a recap of the Tampa Bay Rays series and do a little look ahead at the Detroit Tigers series. So I didn't get to watch the complete games, the last two against the Tampa Bay Rays, so I didn't really feel like doing game recaps when I just didn't get to feel the emotion and kind of get to watch in real time what was happening. But heading into this series, we felt really good about the offense. Against Seattle, where their pitching was pretty elite heading into our series, we ended up putting up 6 runs, and 9 runs against them. So vibes were pretty high at that point. And we were riding that into Tampa where we thought we could keep it going. And ultimately in game one, we could. Dalton Varsho being back and just being the best center fielder in baseball is pretty awesome to see. Obviously, he had that 2 home run game. We put up 9 runs. You're feeling great. Jeff Hoffman blows it, which is, it happens. I don't really care whether we lose by 1 or whether he lets up a grand slam there or whatever. Like, if he's off in a day, he's off in a day. I'm not worried about Jeff Hoffman long term, but he does need to get back on track for us. But anyways, yeah, so the offense was able to put up 9. Unfortunately, we didn't win that game, but I still felt pretty good because I was like, hey, the offense seems legit. You've got Barger firing, you've got Varsho firing, you've got Kirky firing, like Clement's hitting well. All these role players are hitting really well for us, and it doesn't feel like a fluke anymore when we just happen to run into one ball. So that's where I was kind of at after game one. We lost, but still felt fairly confident about the team as a whole. The next game, we win at 3-1, and this was the game where Alejandro Kirk hit the 3-run homer, and in that game, all we needed was the one big hit, as the pitching was really sharp. 3-1 victory. Alejandro Kirk continues to look amazing. He's carrying a lot of the offense. Addison Barger's been carrying a lot of the offense, like I say, and the only guy that really hasn't been is Anthony Santander, and I think it's probably time to move him down, not to the 7 or 8 spot or whatever, but move him down to 4, move him down to 5, just a shuffle up, move Springer in front of him, put Varsho in front of him, just do something different, just so he's looking at somebody else, when he's standing on deck, just to get out of his own head or something. Like just a shuffle for the sake of making a shuffle is kind of where I stand on that. But ultimately in game 3, we lose at 8-3. Gausman had one of his more confusing starts, I would say, as a Blue Jay. I was watching that game. I watched the first several innings. And normally with Kevin Gausman, it's either he's sharp, he's on, he's dialed, he's getting strikeouts, or his stuff looks flat, his fastball loses a bit of velocity, he's sitting 91, 92 for whatever reason, and he gets hit around a bit. There's not normally a huge in-between, and this one was an exception to that because his stuff looked good. He had a live fastball, his splitter looked pretty good. He threw his slider in a couple questionable spots there where I didn't expect him to throw sliders, but ultimately, if you were just watching like a pitch by pitch, the stuff was there. He was just making mistakes middle with it, which is not super characteristic of Kevin Gausman. Normally, like I say, he's either on or he's not. This one, he had the stuff, he had the live arm, and his mistakes were just tremendously bad. Like missing, you couldn't paint them better pitches to hit like batting practice from. And that's not like Kevin Gausman, really. I'm not super concerned about him longer term this season. I think we just need to lower our expectations given his age and everything to now he's probably more of a 2 to 3 starter and no longer a real shutdown ace like he has been the previous couple of years, which is fine. It's not convenient. It's not a good time for it to happen for us, but he is an older pitcher, and that is just the reality of the game, is you do start to decline at some point. And so, maybe we're just having to lower the expectations now to, hey, he's a 2 or a 3. You feel okay about him. He can still go out and dominate and shove for a game here and a game there, but there's also going to be these letdown games in between. So I'm kind of at that point with Barrios, Bassett, and Gausman. I know they all have tremendous potential. I know they can all put up outstanding games. They can go out there and give you a complete game at any given time. Not that those really happen anymore, but then we deal with the flip side where they're leaving things middle, where they get hit around, where, they're just not the shutdown aces. And I'll just leave it at that. So Tampa Bay series, disappointing. Felt like we should have walked out with 2 of 3. The offense cooled off the last 2 games, which was concerning heading into a Detroit Tigers series. But if there's one thing that baseball teaches you, it's that not to overthink these things too much because it is so random. If you think back to when we went into Los Angeles to play the Angels, we were pretty convinced we were getting a sweep there, at minimum 2 out of 3, and then look what happens. We lose 8-3, 5-4, and then win 8-5 in the third one. We were the better team in that series on paper, and we end up losing 2 of 3. Then we go into Seattle, who's won 9 straight series, and we're facing some of their better pitching. and you think, well, we're going to be lucky to not get swept here. And then sure enough, we go and sweep the Seattle Mariners. Tampa Bay, a bit of a toss-up, and it kind of ended up that way. We probably should have won 2 out of the 3. We ended up losing 2 out of the 3. But heading into Detroit, it has a lot of those same vibes that the Seattle series did. Detroit is an absolute juggernaut right now. Tremendous starting pitching. They're the best team in the AL. So naturally, we're probably going to go in there and win 2 out of 3 because our vibes are pretty low right now. They're at an all-time high. You look at the pitching matchups, Bowden-Francis versus Jack Flaherty. That's a winnable game. It totally depends which Bowden-Francis shows up. He's looked good at times. He's looked a little bit rougher recently, but you never know. It's all about the matchups. It's all about the roster, the lineup that he's facing that day, how his pitches are sitting. And I have a lot of faith in Bowden-Francis still, even though he has gotten roughed up a little bit. The Saturday game is one of those ones where we've pretty much won this matchup all season long, despite having like a 0% win probability in these games. This is our Jose Urena and Eric Lauer start day versus Reese Olson, who's a very good starting pitcher in his own right. So that game, we have no business winning at all. But if you think back to the Easton Lucas starts against Mackenzie Gore, against Garrett Crochet, the last start there for Urena and Lauer, we've found a way to win these games more often than not, which is a little bit surprising. So again, this is one of those ones where would you really be shocked if we went out there and won a bullpen game? I wouldn't be, because it's somehow what we've been doing this year. And then in the Sunday, the wrap-up is Jose Barrios versus Jackson Jobe. Jobe has tremendous stuff, elite stuff. He's still a young pitcher. He still has some work to do. I'm going to have a quick look at his stats here if I can pull these up real fast, because I know Jobe is a top prospect. I know he throws 100 miles an hour. We saw him in the bullpen, and sure enough, so he's 3-0 with a 4.32 ERA and a 1.47 WHIP. So good stuff. He's been hit around a little bit. He's getting wins because their offense has been good as well. He's a scary pitcher. I don't know how well we match up against him, but again, baseball's weird, and I would not be surprised if we took 2 out of 3 of these, just because that's the way it goes sometimes. Now, on the hitting side of things, though, what we need to get going is, like I say, Anthony Santander, and whether that's flipping him and Vlad around, maybe Vladdy needs to bat third for a little bit and put Santander in front of him and kind of reverse that protection, or move him down to fifth and put maybe Springer and Varsho in front of him. Just something to try and spark the offense. We're getting Addison Barger. We're getting Kirk. We're getting Clement. Nathan Lucas has been one of the best hitters in baseball recently. Who would have thunk it? We're getting a lot of contribution. And the fact that our number 3 hitter is the one that's not coming through for us, something should probably change there, at least temporarily. Now, we brought Santander in to hit the long ball. We need the long ball. He's still up there with our team lead. But we need to find a way to get him going. Oh, sorry. And, ultimately, I think a lineup shuffle will hopefully help out with that. Get him a little protection, just get him a change of scenery, and try to keep firing with this offense. Pitching side of things on the bullpen, like I mentioned, I'm feeling good about Hoffman longer term, even though he's had a couple blowups. Jimmy Garcia looks like he's back. Fluharty, Little, I feel very confident in our left-handed pitching. And Chad Green has settled down a bit. He's looked all right. And then the Urena Lauer guys that I mentioned, feel okay about them if they're both still going to be on the team come Saturday. I don't know whether Urena will be or not, but if he is, I feel okay about his innings. And Fisher's actually looked really good as well. He hasn't pitched any leverage, but he's done well in his outing. So the batting's there, the pitching is there. Detroit is a very good team, but it doesn't get any easier after them, as it's San Diego, then Tampa again, then Texas. So these are the teams that you got to start beating if you want to be a playoff team. There's a force field over 500 right now. Every time we get there, we fall right back below. And we'll just have to hope that we can rattle off a couple against a, on paper, better team than us here. So that's kind of my takeaways from the Tampa series. It was disappointing. Detroit is going to be a very tough series, but I have faith that the guys can do it, at least rattle off 1 or 2 wins there. And got to get ready to for the off day before the San Diego slog, where we go San Diego, Tampa, Texas, all back to back to back, and the Athletics and Philadelphia and the Minnesota Twins, and there's a lot of good teams comparatively to us right now. So yeah, a lot of the matchups aren't going to feel great. Anyways, that's my takeaway from the series and how I'm feeling headed into Detroit. You guys, let me know how you're feeling. Did you watch the games? What are you thinking? Do we have a chance against Detroit? Let me know in the comments below. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.